Stupid glare. All right. How you doing, Afton?
Doing pretty good. How about you, Sammy?
I'm all right. Welcome back to another Star Wars with Daddy stream. Every week, Thursday, 7:30. And we're back, baby.
Yes, sir.
So, did you watch Bad Batch?
Yes, I did.
What do you think about it?
I thought it was pretty darn good. I don't know if it'll relate completely to the plot, but I mean, I think it will. I think that this spoiler alert, this Wookiee that we see is going to relate at least a good bit to the entire plot of the show. You could say it's a bit of a filler. I wouldn't say that completely because you see a Jedi and this whole crazy thing. Obviously, Jedi Padawan based on some minor details we get about him, but overall, it was a great episode. I'd give it a 8 out of 10. I liked it a lot. There wasn't one thing I could complain about it. I don't see where it's going, but maybe I just don't know where it's going, you know? Going on to Kashyyyk was also a very cool thing to me.
So that's the Jedi that we see, one of the Jedi Padawans that Ahsoka takes to get their lightsaber made in the Clone Wars, where they find their kyber crystals. Jedi Padawan Wookiee Gungi. With that being said, it was cool to see him make it. I mean, we knew he was coming because of the trailer, so it wasn't a surprise. But the whole episode was actually way better than the last two. It was a filler, but it was a good filler. Right? I mean, you can't really expect not filler when you have a 16-part animated series. You're going to have majority filler. And this was probably going to be one of the better ones. With that being said, it's probably a 7 out of 10 for me. I love the return of Gungi. I love the return of Kashyyyk and the rivalry between Trandoshan's and Wookiees.
Yeah.
Just a lot of cool different things that I just really liked. I mean, the tanks that we see seem like the AATs that the Separatists use, but the Empire is using them. So I thought that was interesting. There's just a lot of cool different things. Not like the most crazy episode we've ever had, but nonetheless a very strong episode going forward. We haven't had like an actual Jedi. Oh, no, I guess Genji's not really a Jedi, but you know what I mean, like a Jedi in Bad Batch since the beginning, pretty much, of season 1.
He's not a knight, but he's a Padawan. He's still a Jedi.
Yeah.
At least was. I thought it was a little bit weird how you see Trandoshans just getting mopped like they're nothing, because on the episode where Ahsoka is fighting Trandoshans, and of course she doesn't have any weapons in this episode, the Trandoshans are literally just murdering everyone in their path. And I think at one point, I think it was Hunter, just smacked the Trandoshan across the face and he was knocked out. And I'm sitting there thinking, aren't they supposed to be stronger or as strong as Wookiees? But it's an animated series, and if it didn't happen like that, it would happen any different. But that's my one complaint. It's not even a complaint. It was just a little bit weird to me. But yeah, I thought it was pretty good overall.
Yeah, I don't have it higher than a 7 for a couple of reasons. A, it being a filler, but B, still no Crosshair or Cody or Rex. We're really waiting for that. Really no plot development overall. Still waiting for that. I'm really excited for March 1st, The Mandalorian, for some just real good Star Wars story. That's something I feel like we've been really not having recently, right? Kenobi had a little bit, but overall it wasn't like the most intriguing story. There's parts of it that were very intriguing, like, you know, the ending. And then episode 3 had some pretty good story, but the rest of it was pretty weak. And with that being said, I was really excited to have some story, and we just didn't get any so far, pretty much. And
yeah,
obviously, Mandalorian's going to bring the heat when it comes to a good story for Star Wars. So I'm just excited for that. So yeah, there you go, 7 out of 10. I'm still looking forward to seeing Crosshair, Cody, Rex make a return.
Oh, yeah.
At least one of the 3, if not all 3, hopefully.
Yep.
Yeah. And then that's really it for Bad Batch. Same time next week. About a month away now from the drop of Mandalorian, so that's awesome. Like I said, I'm kind of really excited for that. I've never been like the craziest Mandalorian fan. It's not been like, you know, Mandalorian's like one of the biggest draws for Star Wars right now. it's never been like the most, interesting thing to me, especially season 1 was weak for me. But like the last year of Star Wars content has been very weak, right? I mean, none of it has been strong. It's all been average at best, but most of it weak. Not Mandalorian, Boba Fett, very weak, right? Most of Kenobi, I'll put Kenobi at average, and that's being nice. And to be honest, Bad Batch so far weak. Like there's not really like anything super intriguing about it, right? Like Bad Batch season 1 started out with a huge bang, and so far we've only had one episode of Bad Batch that's really been great, and that's the one with Crosshair and Cody.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking forward to a good, new, intriguing story show. And I even forgot about Andor. I mean, that tells you all you need to know about Andor. I mean, Andor feels like they tried to make it a super interesting story, but they just feel like they tried too hard.
Yeah, they put so many different Easter eggs in it and never really went through with any of them. Like, yeah, we know now that there's 2 holocrons on Coruscant. That's going to set something up in 2 or 3 different series later, something else. It's not going to set up anything for Andor. Yeah. Nothing really crazy happened in Andor. A whole bunch of small things that were cool did, but no big, holy crap, this was cool.
Yeah.
I really liked Kenobi. As far as all the shows go last year, I'd probably pick Kenobi as the best. I might have said Andor earlier, but seeing his arc from just giving up to then going out and fighting Anakin again was awesome to me. But it was still above average at best. Or average to, no. They had some pretty annoying plot parts. Just around average.
Yeah. And then a couple other Star Wars news. We had Jedi Fallen Order delayed, unfortunately, by 6 weeks. So April 20, I'm not too sure. It's mid-April. Late April, actually. Very disappointing. I mean, it feels like Mandalorian's going to be the first Star Wars show they're putting out that's not delayed. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, it has been delayed because it was originally supposed to come out in February. So
nothing's been not delayed since 2022. 2021 was the last.
I think Boba Fett was the first one not delayed because remember Kenobi got delayed and they added an extra episode.
Mm-hmm.
But Boba Fett was like the first one, so it's been over a year since we have had a non-delayed Star Wars project. Very disappointing.
Get on schedule.
And this is strictly they're saying it's because they want to touch up the game. I'm sorry, no, you're not. If you're 2 weeks out, you're not touching up the game. It's all about merchandising and politics. You don't want this to come out mid-Mandalorian, right? Because if you put it out 17th, they're going to be coming out like the 3rd episode in of Mandalorian. You put it out 6 weeks, it's going to be coming out towards the end of Mandalorian. That is the only reason you're doing that.
Yeah. Touching up a game is where Cyberpunk 2077 did. Not that was great, but they delayed it by months.
Yeah. To be touching up a game, you have a couple months at the very least, not a month and a half. 2 months, maybe 3 months, at least 2 months, if not 3 or 4 months to touch up the game. Usually, if you're going to touch up a game, you need 6 to 12 months, right? If this game was coming out in March 17th, so a month, they're not touching it up. It's been done already. They're just strictly trying to get better sales and figure out what's the most most proficient time to release the game.
Exactly.
And I'm not gonna lie, this is the reason we've been pumping out non-Star Wars content is because Star Wars sucks right now, right? As for content that's coming out, they're just shit in the bed. It's not good. They're delaying everything. They're making everything a political scheme when it doesn't need to be. Just release a good story when it deserves to come out, right? Stop waiting. Oh, this might suck because of this. No, people have got time. They're going to play it if they really like it. They're going to watch it if they really enjoy it.
What show did they delay because of Game of Thrones?
They didn't delay either of those. Oh, they delayed Andor because of...
Yeah, didn't Andor beat Game of Thrones in whatever category it was?
No.
I thought the first episode did.
It didn't make it. It didn't make top 10.
Dang. Wow.
It flopped.
Anyway. I mean, this looks like they're just playing the schedule wrong, honestly. When did Skeleton Crew started being recorded? Do you remember?
No, I think they're in the middle of it.
They're in the middle of recording it, and they say that it's coming out in 2023. Put 2024 as your date, because if it came out in December, if December is your goal, then make it come out early and everyone's gonna love you, or just keep it in 2024 and say January if you get it done early. And you guys aren't getting it done early. Skeleton Crew is not coming out in 2023.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. Skeleton Crew is coming out, I'd say February, March 2024.
It's
And that's just because we can call so many delays because everything's been delayed, and that really just lowers morale. It feels like everything's a formula now, and it's like just
there's a very good reason Andor flopped. It's because they're pooping the bed with this right now.
Yeah.
Like, stop. Put the people you need to put in charge of the projects, right? Like Kenobi, you literally crapped the bed. What was that? That was terrible. You had 6 episodes of returning characters from a loved era, and you literally shot the bed on most of it, right? Like, majority of it flopped. Boba Fett, awful. And that one, I don't even know what that came from, because Jon Favreau, that was his project. And then 2 episodes were great, and those weren't even starring the main character, right?
No.
Andor, I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory as it is. You have a guy who doesn't like Star Wars making a Star Wars show. Well, I don't see where the problem is on that one, right? Bad Batch, Bad Batch isn't missing. It's just on par, and the par isn't very high for it, right? It's like just very average.
and
I think the problem with Bad Batch is it's an average show in the midst of a bunch of crappy shows coming out, right? It's really just, it's not. And let's say Mandalorian came out, season 2 just came out, and Kenobi came out, right? I think it'd be a little bit different of a vibe, but no, we've had Andor, Kenobi, and Boba Fett, a average and then 2 crappy shows, right?
yeah, I mean this show Bad Batch right now, season 2. I'm gonna say about it what I say to all of the other shows I've been watching so far. I mean, wow, 5 episodes in, it has potential. This could go really good. I think I've said that too about Kenobi, Andor, and Boba Fett. All of them. Well, it's not great. It's a little filler, and it very well could end up good. It just starts sucking where every single week you're saying, you know what, this could be good if everything changed. Well, it's not going to be good. A Bad Batch, I'd say, is not going in a bad track. Bad Batch is going in a very similar track to that it had in season 1.
I will say,
the exception of the first episode.
And I keep forgetting about it because it was so short. And this is like their worst mistake. Tales of the Jedi. That was amazing. But you had like an hour of content put out, right? And then again, you put that in the midst of a bunch of other crappy episodes. I literally keep forgetting about Tales of the Jedi. I'm like, what was that? Because they always release an animated show a year, at least one a year.
That's hilarious because that one is amazing. I loved it. That was probably my favorite content. That was my favorite content in 2023.
Oh, absolutely, 1000%. I loved parts of Kenobi that I really did.
But if I were to pick one or the other,
I would absolutely pick Tales of the Jedi. And I hate to say it because like the ending of Kenobi and parts of like episode 3, I really, really loved. But a lot of it I hated. But there is nothing I didn't like about Tales of the Jedi.
Every single part. Oh my gosh, that was an amazing little series. I mean, they're continuing Tales of the Jedi season 2, right?
We're assuming so.
I really hope so.
There was no reason for it not to. I mean, it was their definitely the most successful. I mean, I don't know if it did most successful numbers, but viewer wise and like rating wise, 1000%.
And it's not like they come up with a release date and the whole thing drops. So they might. I hope they look at analytics like that. It's
not that the whole thing dropped.
It's an just, hour.
It's not even that. It's just that you didn't put a whole lot of content out, and you put it out in the midst of a bunch of other long, crappy shows. And so these long, crappy shows just kind of overshadowed it. And that's kind of why Bad Batch is missing for a lot of people. I'm not the only one. I see a lot of people are not really enjoying Bad Batch because it's in the midst of pretty under par. And so what is on par, not above it, but on par, it's just not, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't really know how else to explain it. It's just like
you're getting a whole bunch of 3s and 4s out of 10s, and then a 5 out of 10 comes out, and you're like, wow, nothing really changed.
Yeah.
That's a bad way of putting it. Those numbers aren't accurate, right? We rated each show differently, but at the same time.
During the time, we rated each show way higher.
Oh, yeah.
But.
Because you just got content. You see a little, what is it? You see candy at some random store. I can't think of what it is. But it's like the lowest quality crap.
Banana Laffy Taffy. You see it, and it's right next to a pile of dog poop. You're like, oh, Banana Laffy Taffy. You're like, this is great. I'm happy to have something. and then afterwards you're like, I want to throw up. This was terrible, right?
You
That's
gotta-
what Boba Fett was. That's what, for the most part, Kenobi was. I'll say it was strawberry Laffy Taffy. Still not very good, right? That's what Andor was, right? And then you put like a Skittle there, and that's what Tales of the Jedi were, right?
Mhm.
So
And-
Bad Batch is just, I don't know. It's not bad. It's really not, because like I said, everything's been pretty much what we've expected. There's nothing like, oh, this is crazy or this is terrible. It's just been like, yeah, I kind of expected this, which is what Clone Wars and Bad Batch has pretty much always been.
Yep.
Clone Wars season 7 was an exception. Right? It was phenomenally way better than we thought,
Yeah.
and that's just because it was a different era. Right? We hadn't been getting much content, and then this comes out, and it's just way better than we've ever
Season
seen.
7 kicks off Bad Batch.
Yeah.
Season 7 kicks off a series that we're hyped for, and that's only the start of the season. Like, that was amazing right there, out of the blue. Wow.
Yeah. I don't know. It's
Every Star Wars with Daddies, we poop on Star Wars because they keep releasing poop content.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just sucks to wait a week, and it's like, yep, unless they throw banger episodes out every single week, which they're not going to because it's a kids show. Unless they do that, we're just gonna say. I mean, I bet you anything, 7.5 or 8 out of 10 is gonna be the show.
Yeah.
Like, and that's not bad by any means, but I really hope Mandalorian blows us out of the water and changes this entire.
I think Mandalorian will be good.
It has to be good because that's where they're drawing their money from right now with
Yeah.
Grogu.
Yeah. I'm from all the rumors, the leaks, I'm very pumped for Ahsoka. I think this year's going to be a lot better than next year, right? Because even with part of the rumors for Boba and Kenobi, they never were super interesting, right?
Pictures that weren't
Right,
even
like we
useful.
knew kind of from the get-go that Kenobi was going to have another character that was a main character and took too much spotlight, right, from a lot of rumors. And we were all hoping, okay, just pray these rumors weren't true. They were true for the most part. So if we're kind of hearing these same sources, these same rumors from the same sources, Ahsoka's looking pretty hype. So is
Amanda.
Mandalorian. That being said, we do know what our next show after Mandalorian is. We finally got a release date. Visions is coming out May 4th.
You don't count Young Jedi Adventures?
We don't have a release date for that.
Oh shit.
I'm not 100%, but I'm like 90% sure. All the episodes are going to be dropping at the same time as this previous season. All different studios making it again. I don't believe any of them are returning from the first season. I'm not 100% sure on that one either. Nothing I'm really excited for. Visions is the only show I didn't watch through. Mostly because it's not canon. It's anime. I don't have any draw to either of those. But if you did enjoy it, here's to another, hopefully, banger anime Star Wars season coming up. Anything on that, Allison?
If it gets good reviews, I'll probably watch season 1 and 2.
I'm expecting kind of like a Bad Batch. Just like, yeah, good reviews, and then people who don't care about it aren't going to watch it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm expecting.
Mostly because it's not canon, so people don't. Even though I don't have like a crazy draw to Clone Wars, right? But it's canon, so I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna watch it because it's canon, and and who knows if we have something big from like the first 2 episodes of Bad Batch that are gonna really affect the rest of the galaxy.
For example, like if you don't like the animation style of anything animated, you only watch live action. You only know from a solo story that Maul didn't die in Phantom Menace. That is a huge what in the world, huh? Because that's the only live action thing that happened. So that's why I watched the Clone Wars. I mean, Sammy had to convince me, yeah, watch the Rebels. It's a stupid animation style, but it gets better halfway through. I think it's season 2 or 3. It gets way better. And I mean, this isn't canon. If people like this a lot, I'm gonna watch season 1 and 2. If there's not a ton of,
I watched parts of it.
If there's not a ton of content coming out, like 2024 slows down a bit, I'll probably watch them both.
I'm expecting a little bit of a break, because after that we have, or who knows, after or before, we're supposed to get Young Jedi Adventures in the spring as well. But then for the rest of the year, we only have 2 more projects: Ahsoka and Skeleton Crew.
Both of those are very hyped, but
Skeleton Crew is most likely 4th quarter. Ahsoka, we could probably expect 3rd quarter, like kind of like maybe going into the
August-ish.
I wouldn't even say August, probably like that fall time, September, October, November, somewhere in that area is what I would expect for Ahsoka. It's done. It's being finished up as we speak. They're not shooting anything right now. So that there's probably gonna be a little bit of a break in between. So thankfully we got a bunch of content pushed out first quarter, and there'll be a little bit of break in between the second and third, most likely. So there'll be enough content then to flow around. Yeah. Again, that being said, I'm excited going forward. I'm really excited for March. I mean, I enjoyed Mandalorian season 2 a decent amount. Like season 1, I actually didn't really care. I thought it was mid. I was like, this isn't bad, but this is just. I thought it was overhyped as
Every episode
hell.
was 50 minutes, and every other episode contributed to the plot.
I thought it was average as hell, and I thought it was overhyped. But season 2, I thought was absolutely amazing. I loved season 2. With that being said, season 3, I mean, I'm expecting it to go up and beyond. Like each season's gotten better and better in my opinion, right? And I put Boba Fett as a Mandalorian season 2.5, and the 2 episodes we got of Mandalorian in there were awesome, super awesome. So I think season 3 itself is actually going to be pretty good. I'm like, super excited for that. And Ahsoka, just because, I mean, who doesn't love Ahsoka and Rebels, right? And we're going to get our first Rebels live action. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I'm really excited for Ahsoka. It's just one of those shows that it's live action. We see a little bit of Ahsoka in live action, and everyone loved her. I just hope they don't screw the pooch on this. Mandalorian season 3 has a high potential, it really does. But if it does if it does anything below season 2, if it hits season 2 standards, perfect. Anything below season 2 standards, that could be a start decline. And then Ahsoka, if that doesn't do amazing and redeem it, I mean, there's just multiple ways that this can go. I every single series that comes out, you always hear me. I have high hopes for it, but you never know how it goes.
Yeah,
we'll see. I'm really excited for Mandalorian though. Having two series come out at the same time, and what are we going to be on episode 9 or 10 whenever Mandalorian comes out? That's when things are going to start heating up. We're going to get Mandalorian season 1 through 5, episode 1 through 5, or we get Bad Batch episode like 11 through 16. And that's going to be like the best part with a couple filler episodes for Mandalorian. It's honestly perfect timing.
Yeah.
There. I mean, I don't know how they got perfect timing with all the delays, but they managed it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's really it for right now. Not a whole lot of other news coming around. Yeah, same time every week, 7:30 Thursdays. Bad Batch review when Mandalorian comes out, Mandalorian review as well, and Star Wars news updates. With that, we hope you guys enjoyed the stream. If you're on YouTube watching this at a later time, don't forget that subscribe and the like. And if you're on podcast, don't forget that like, I believe, and download as well. And with that, we will see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Peace out, suckers.